Good evening. This is the market update for buy sell short for Wednesday, October 31st. Happy Halloween to everyone out there, and to those people on the East Coast. Hope you made it through this storm unscathed. We had the market finally open up after a 2-day closure, longest weather closure since, 1888. And when you step back and think about it, with the markets now almost all electronically driven, the fact that it is still concentrated in New York when we have all this cloud, all this technology, and that their data centers backups have been moved to New Jersey, it's actually kind of comical. I mean, if this was a normal company, Wall Street would be hammering their stock price right now, and I just thought I'd mention it. It still seems crazy after 9/11 that everything is still concentrated in New York, especially when everything is just data robotic driven these days. Anyway, market ended up red. It looked like we were going to push positive for the day, but then in the last 30 minutes we had some sellers step in. Looking at the 15-minute chart, you can see we are still within this rectangle formation. 13,150-ish is where we would be looking for a breakout, and 13K is our support level. If we look at the daily chart, it actually looked better before that late day dip. We continue to hold above the 200-day moving average, but the longer we hang here, and the more times we test this 200-day zone, there's an old adage, the more you test the support, the more likely it is to break, and that would be a negative for the market. Now, we are oversold on the indicators, RSI, money flow, stochastics, etc., etc. And as I had mentioned in the chat room today, if we had been able to close green, odds would have been pretty good for a rally throughout the rest of the week. So we're still sort of up in the air with what's happening. I will say I still think we are biased to the upside for a bounce right now, but that is hinged on us holding above 13K. So if you're looking for, to continue to add longs, I would make a 13K Dow stop your stop for longs, or your stop for moving to the sidelines. Russell actually did a little bit better today. Again, it's also, if we were to go look at the intraday chart, it's forming a little rectangle here, and it too is holding above its 200-day moving average. So we have a couple of indices holding right above their 200-day moving average, and we're just waiting to see if they move. Now, our small cap plays have continued to outperform. MOTR gem hit our target on the nose today. Actually busted through it and then sold off late in the day. Nothing like, 90% mover for us over the last week. And our other play similar to that was PWAVE, and out of the blue this morning, PWAVE just decided it was going to gap and ran all the way up to 55 cents. Hitting our first and second targets before a late day low volume pullback. Really like the action on this one, and this can do exactly what Motor did. Run nice and run for a few days. Next target is that 70 to 75 cent area, and look what we have on the chart here. A positive MACD cross, and that has been very, very bullish for small caps of late, and the indicators are still in the basement and looking very, very nice. Stochastics up through 20 on bounce volume looks great. RSI up through 50, looking for a continuation move on this one over the next couple of days. New play we got into today, a pair of PWAVE ALVR, and these guys had news yesterday. They sold some more assets for another $5 million. That brings $24 million in cash they've raised over the last couple of weeks, giving them about 50 million plus in cash with a market cap of 27 million. Very nice flag formation on this one right now. We are right at the breakout level, over 50 cents. They'll really start to chase this one, sort of like they did when we first got into this one back in September. RSI looks good. We're looking at a positive MACD cross, probably tomorrow, Friday at the latest. Stochastics look good. Like the setup. stocks in the 40 cent area have been blowing up of late, and not just the ones we've been in. If you actually go and run a scan and look at some, there's been quite a few stocks down in this level that have gone on very nice runs recently, and we could be seeing a little stealth rally in these under $1 stocks, which is fantastic. Jern treaded water for most of the day, and then late in the day got a nice little pickup here. Held support of 126 today on that early dip, and then pushed to new highs. 20-day exponential at 143 is the target on this one. Or you could trail your stops now to a $1.30, guaranteeing at least a slight win / flat trade. New trading alert as well today was Mad Catz, MCZ. We got a nice little range break on this one today, closed above the 50-day moving average. And as we do every single year this time, this is a play on all the big games that come out in the next week. Call of Duty and Halo. Mad Catz is the licensee for Halo 4, which is expected to be a blockbuster. And whenever Mad Catz sells their products as a licensee on a big blockbuster game, they do very, very well. Recall the huge sales increase they had 2 years ago. Chart looks very, very nice. We've got support at the 200-day moving average. RSI is upticking. We've got a strong MACD. We've got stochastics in a nice uptrend. We got a nice volume burst today. Looks very, very nice over the next few days. Last year, this stock from this time over the next week ran from 69 cents to 91 cents, a 40% gain in a week. Let's see if we can get a repeat of that again this year. Last but not least, I'm just going to mention HEB. This is one we jumped into the chat room today on a positive MACD cross, and it just zoomed into the close, going as high as 84 cents. I mean, a 20% gainer in less than an hour. You can't really argue about that. And, on watch again for continuation tomorrow or a possible trade on a dip. But as you can see, we're seeing a lot of action in the stocks that we like to play, the under $1 stocks, and that is a very positive sign. Also, keep in mind, a lot of hedge funds, their quarter and year end was today. So many of these stocks that were under some pressure over the last couple of weeks could see some very nice snapback moves in the coming days. So keep that in mind. So that's it for the video. We've got a few active plays. We are still in a cautious stance, which means we are still in an elevated cash level stance, but that doesn't mean we can't play these very nice chart setups that are out there. We don't need to play 20 stocks. We can play 3, 4, 5 and get some very, very nice gains out of them in this market. So that's it for the video. If you've got any questions, shoot me an email, feedback@buysellshort.com, and I will see you guys in the chat room tomorrow. Good night.